unusually quiet at the Rochelle Diamonds. The Union Pacific workers on site have two topics of discussion. First, do they have enough time to get some maintenance work done on the crossing before the next train arrives? And second, where's the driver of that green car? The Union Pacific supported the building of the Rochelle Railroad Park for the express purpose of getting train fans off the main line. Yet there are still a few holdouts. Railroad parks are for tourists. For us purists, the best way to watch trains in Rochelle is right here where the action is. Speaking of which, here comes a couple of trains now. When two trains arrive in Rochelle at the same time, the best place to be is on the side away from the track of the first arriving train. That way, when the second train arrives, your view is not blocked by the first train. No such luck this time, which is especially disappointing as I can now see between the cars that the consist I am missing is led by the CNW Heritage SD70 ACE. Oh well, at least now with the first train pass, I can enjoy the last few stacks of the second arriving train. Hello and welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Geneva Subdivision. My name is Darryl Cruz, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for this update video, episode 30 of season 2019. And this update is on the neighborhoods around the around the UP BNSF crossing in Rochelle. As you can see from these views, I've put in quite a bit of work to get it to the point where we have streets in and trees added, and also the gravel around the streets, and I even put in some curbs and sidewalks to kind of finish everything out. Here you can see looks pretty good with a manifest train going through. You can see the work that I did on the BNSF track going into the backdrop there, together with all the houses and trees and roads and so forth that have been put in. So this main street through here is First Avenue. In Rochelle, all the east-west street roads are called avenues, and then north-south are streets. So that's First Avenue is the main one, and then you have that's 12th Street and 11th Street. Also added some telephone poles, which I extended into the western part of the town, out through Highway 38 there. Also did some work on the parking lot there at that's an old Del Monte warehouse that's not in use. It's just sitting there. Actually, today is in the process of being torn down, but I'm going to leave it up on my layout. So that's 12th Street and 11th Street that go north. I'm not sure what the name of the street that connects the two. That area there where the little figure was watching the train and the UP workers were having a little discussion together, that is the main area where everybody used to go to watch trains. And when we first moved to Rochelle in '97, I would, go there quite often. There would always be 2 or 3 cars. Sometimes on weekends there might be 6 or 7 cars, and people there watching the trains go through Rochelle. And the Union Pacific wasn't really crazy about that, and so they were very supportive of the city of Rochelle building the railroad park, and they wanted to get people off the main line. I have to be honest with you, after they built the railroad park around 2000, so it was after we were there for 3 years, I believe, I still liked going to that area, just because you could see the trains a lot better, and a lot of times I didn't want to talk to tourists. All the people from out of town went to the railroad park, and if I ever went there, people always wanted to ask me questions and stuff, so I would go there sometimes, but a lot of times if I just wanted to watch trains and not talk to anybody, I would go to the actual crossing. But anyway, so here you can see a lot of the work that I did. Took quite a bit of time, a lot of little stuff that you have to do to get it all put together. Again, used Woodland Scenic Smooth It to do all the roads, and used Enviro Evergreen Styrene has a sheet that you can use to make sidewalks. So all the sidewalks are made using Sidewalk Sheet. It basically is a sheet of styrene that's scribed in grooves in a grid, and you just snap off one row of the grid, and you have a nice looking sidewalk. It's a little bit wide. It comes out to be like 5 feet wide, which is a little bit wide for this particular street, but it definitely looks out nice. It looks like it's white from the video, but it's actually a more of a concrete yellowish white color. And then I also, when we get closer in, you can see I put curbing on First Street. So here you can see some details. There's a man there going to his truck, and then you can see the curbs. I added some curbing. It looks pretty good in person. There's a couple of people on the porch at the house there, and a lady sweeping off her sidewalk, and a guy riding his bike. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I need to go back again. I know I said this a lot of times, and weather things a little bit. But anyway, I think my next project is going to be this underpass in River Forest. So I'm going to kind of take a break from Rochelle, and I'm going to work on this underpass here. This is the Walthers kit that recently came out. Someone said it's been out for months, but as far as I know, it's just been out last month or two. But it fits perfectly here in River Forest. So this will hopefully look like River Forest. You can see some of the pictures of the actual compared to what's actually there. But definitely looking forward to getting this to look like River Forest. River Forest is where Patty and I went to school. We got our college degree at Concordia University in River Forest. Although I have to admit, when I was in college, I don't remember spending any real time at this particular station. So anyway, that will be next up on work on the layout. Here we'll see a couple more trains going through the area. When I do get back to Rochelle, the next part will be the actual railroad park. And then 10th Street and 9th Street. 9th Street is a kind of a main street that goes right by the railroad park and across both tracks. So that'll be quite a bit of work to get 9th Street done. As you can see, I did put telephone poles in, not only along First Street, but also on the other side of the crossing. Put some some telephone poles along the BNSF main line, and then also in the little neighborhood there as well. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And again, I will take my airbrush and just kind of dirty things up a little bit. It looks too neat and clean right now. I'm also going to be doing the same thing to Global 3 and get that to look a little more weathered. One thing I wanted to mention, the trees there, that row of trees right by the tracks are shorter than the prototype. But I did that mainly so that you can see the trains. But turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll hopefully be doing another video sometime this weekend. Until then, take care. Have a great weekend.